joining us on debate number 1 tonight, where we are putting out that hashtag Raga of Denial. Viewers, don't forget to tweet in your responses as you follow the debate here. We've got a fantastic panel this evening. Nirmala Sitharaman, Minister for Commerce and Industries, joins us live from Delhi. RPN Singh, former Minister of State for Home from Kushinagar. Pawan Verma, senior leader of the JDU and former Rajya Sabha member, also from Delhi. And Yogendra Yadav, founder of the Swaraj Abhiyan from Delhi. Nirmala Sitharaman, if I can come across to you first, do you think Rahul Gandhi is in a complete state of denial? He today, when he spoke to reporters in the parliament premises, he said there are ups and downs, and it's a little down in Uttar Pradesh. A little down, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, when the Congress got a strike rate of 6.14%, 7 seats out of the 114 they contested. The BJP had a strike rate of 82.27%. And of course, the Congress today with 7 seats in Uttar Pradesh is smaller than Apna Dal that has 9 MLAs and contested only 12. Nirmala Sitharaman?
Well, I'm very sorry to say the Congress was not prepared for the election because they don't know where they're going. The leadership is revealing every bit of the crisis that the party is going through. But after losing, and losing so distinctly, they do not know how to handle the matter. Even a graceful loser's words would be far better than looking for excuses. I'm surprised that the entire leadership of the Congress, inclusive of the Vice President, are so lacking in grace. And to then speak about, why are you comparing a senior leader of the BJP who's got 45 years of experience with only Rahul Gandhi who's been here for 1.5 years? Didn't you all know this when you entered the fight? And during the campaign, I remember Rahul Gandhi also said, oh, Mr. Modi is getting old, he should go away. I'm young, I'm going to take away the whole election. So all this just smacks of that smugness of the Congress. Do they want to address the issues of the people? Do they want to talk to the people? Do they want to stay connected? Please, it is time for introspection rather than cast aspersions on this splendid victory which the people of India have given. And this is no time to, look for excuses and then deny the voter the decision that he's given forward. I think it is time for the Congress party. I for one would normally not advise or suggest things to other parties. But here we go, for a leader who that party is looking up to. There should be a lot more maturity in handling. I would want to believe the Congress party would have its time to introspect.
Well, RPN Singh, you know the situation on the ground. In fact, senior leaders are now coming out and talking about structural changes that are required in the Congress party. In fact, I spoke with Kamal Nath earlier this morning and he said that the Congress party has no organizational structure. He said the CWC is full of members of Rajya Sabha. 12 out of the 36 CWC members are all Rajya Sabha members, people who have never fought elections. Also, what he said was that as far as the connect is concerned, there is no connect because politics in Congress is being played in 2017 as if it was being played in 1980. So you've not moved with the times, you've not done any preparation as far as the organizational structure is concerned. And he continues to say that Rahul Gandhi just doesn't have the experience of a Narendra Modi. Now, is Rahul Gandhi going to be forever in training as the vice president of the party? When he took over in 2013 at the Jaipur Chintan Shivir, it's been 4 years since then. Where will this experimentation and when will this training period of Rahul Gandhi end, Mr. RPN Singh?
Well, Navika, first of all, I'd just like to remind Nirmala ji that Mr. Gandhi was one of the first people who congratulated the Prime Minister on his victory in Uttar Pradesh. And the whole Congress party, in fact, has congratulated the BJP on their remarkable victory in Uttar Pradesh. But there were 5 states that went to elections. We saw what happened in Punjab, we saw what happened in Uttarakhand, and we saw what happened in Goa and Manipur. And we just played out the whole day what happened in who got the largest number of seats in Goa and in Manipur. I don't want to go into that. But definitely...
But Kamal Nath also commented on that, RPN Singh. Kamal Nath said, and he admitted, and every MLA in Congress, Vishwajit Rane, has said that nobody in the leadership of the Congress party was working to make a government in Goa. Now, you can't blame the other side for moving fast when your own side was sleeping at the wheel. That's what's been said, that even Kamal Nath has admitted today, and have
Navika,
many MLAs in Goa admitted that nobody has taken any action of forming a government in Goa. Yeah, okay, go on.
Navika, can I complete what I'm saying? I've not even completed my sentence. You come in, either you do the talking or I can do the talking. Navika, it's very difficult to answer questions. Before I answer your first question, you already asked your second question. If you want to talk about Goa, let's talk about Manipur. The first person who's got elected there, he's got elected on the Congress ticket. Within 12 hours, he wants to back the BJP. Come on, let's wake up to that. We saw what happened in Uttarakhand in the last 2 years, Navika. Didn't we see what happened in other states in the northeast? But as far as the transformation in the Congress party, yes, we need to introspect. And I think our senior leaders have come out. Even Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself has said that we need changes within the party, and that is something that is going to bring about. But I can understand why is the BJP attacking the Congress party. We have congratulated you on Uttar Pradesh. I can understand what you have done in Goa and Manipur is something that you are feeling. That's why even the people in Goa are today lining up outside the Raj Bhavan with placards saying that this is not what we voted for. So
but Mr. RPN Singh,
I can understand how uncomfortable the BJP is feeling, but we are definitely not smug. We have congratulated the BJP on their remarkable win in Uttar Pradesh, and we definitely need to introspect and bring about structural changes. And
but Mr. RPN Singh, at the same time, Rahul Gandhi has also said. Yeah, Rahul Gandhi at the same time has also said that it is a question of how much money the BJP has thrown to steal the mandate of Manipur and Goa. Now, on what basis is the Congress Vice President making these allegations?
Well, ma'am, how are these governments made? And how these governments fell in Uttarakhand, we just saw it played out 6 months ago. You were reporting then also how these governments in Uttarakhand and another state in northeast fell. And how these governments, how do you explain, ma'am? How do you explain a man who's got elected on the Congress party, leaves it within 12 hours of getting elected on the Congress party and joins the BJP? He must be doing it on love and fresh air.
Before I go across to Pawan Verma, RPN Singh, today you took this entire matter of Goa to the Supreme Court. What did the Supreme Court say? You made these allegations in Supreme Court. The only simple fact that the Supreme Court said was, where are your letters of support to form a majority government in Goa? Since there was no letters of support, you couldn't prove your majority in Goa. That's why even the Supreme Court has allowed the BJP to go ahead and try and form the government. The swearing-in ceremony has been done. And your leaders have admitted that you were rather slow in moving in Goa.
The whole country knows about it. Was the single largest party asked to form the government? They could not even meet the governor.
Was the single largest party asked in 2013?
Was he called by the governor to form the government?
In 2013 was the single largest party the BJP asked in Delhi when they had 31 seats.
We will be happy with the thing.
RPN Singh, in 2013, the Delhi...
It is important for us
Nirmala
to know.
Sitharaman wants to come in.
Navika, it is important for us to recognize the fact that the Goa Congress did not even stake any claim with the governor. If they had the numbers, they could have gone and shown and asked them to file an affidavit before the governor saying this is where the numbers are, these are the MLAs with us. So we stake a claim to form the government. They did not even do that. They were sitting and watching, knowing clearly none of the parties or the independents were with them. So what are they crying about? One. Second, for them to quote n number of examples as if, this is what has been having money power and all that. In Manipur, clearly the chief minister could not even come to give his resignation letter because he was so shocked at what has happened. And when the numbers there too clearly stood out, they had to submit the resignation. The governor's discretion is very clearly to know which group has literally enough numbers and subject to proving it on the floor of the House, which will lead to stability in the state. You really can't be trying out when you clearly even have not staked the claim to form a government. And why cry now? You did not even approach the governor. So it is right that the governor is looking at the combination who comes convincingly before him or her to say we have the numbers. They didn't do that and now to cry about it.
Like we saw it in Uttarakhand, ma'am. Like what happened in Uttarakhand, ma'am, when we had the numbers, ma'am.
Yes, and after that you saw it in Arunachal Pradesh, sir.
Humbly, I would like to
you saw Arunachal Pradesh where you claimed it and the entire Arunachal unit had to move out.
Ma'am, what happened in Uttarakhand?
So claiming doesn't help.
There was no use there.
You talk about today's context.
Get back to that incident in what happened in the Supreme Court, what happened in Arunachal Pradesh, what happened in Uttarakhand. Who was doing it? The government.
What happened in today's Supreme Court?
Yes.
What happened today?
You know what power you used? What power you used in Arunachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand?
Power we used in the court? What are you trying to suggest?
And it has been repeated, ma'am. I'm not suggesting anything,
RPN Singh, now short of suggesting that even the Supreme Court was fixed, are you suggesting RPN Singh?
That's right, Navika, as a former minister.
Are you suggesting that?
As a former minister, Shri RPN Singh, I'm sure has discretion while he says what he is saying, and I'm sure he's considered what he's suggesting. I hope he is not
let's get in Pawan Verma. Pawan Verma. You know, is it 1 minute, RPN Singh? We've got only 4 people today on the panel so that everybody gets an equal time to speak. But let me get in Pawan Verma, who hasn't spoken yet, and Yogendra Yadav. Pawan Verma, the question is it always the gospel truth that the largest party has to be invited? Or in cases as stated, in Delhi elections of 2013, when the BJP was the single largest party with 31 number of MLAs, but the Aam Aadmi Party was invited with 28 MLAs and the Congress went in to support them. Similar examples have been seen in 2005 in Jharkhand, in 2002 in Jammu and Kashmir, when the National Conference was not invited. It was the Congress PDP combined that was invited. So why is the Congress party only finding Manipur and Goa as issues to cry about?
I've got your question. Navika, first of all, please decide what is the subject of today's panel discussion. What you said in the beginning is different. Is this a discussion on Goa and Manipur? Then I will answer.
That's not. But whenever you are asked questions, whenever a Congress person is asked questions on Rahul Gandhi, they like to deflect it to Manipur and Goa these days. The question is on Rahul Gandhi.
I don't believe that's a question. I want to come to the crux. I want to come
so go to the crux, Pawan Verma, be my guest.
Which is the subject? Yes. Which is the subject?
Raga of denial. Raga of denial is the subject.
So I know, Navika. Please let your panelists speak. I want to say to you, it's not about raga and denial. I want to state on your channel unequivocally the opposition is in denial. In the BJP, in democratic terms, we have a for those in the opposition who believe that they should have a counter narrative to that of the BJP, we have a very formidable political adversary. Therefore, to respond to that, you cannot try to build opposition unity in this casual, ad hoc or perfunctory manner. And I'm afraid UP teaches us some very objective lessons. Mr. Nitish Kumar, and I normally don't need to refer to my leader, in a public tweet said that what existed in UP was not a Mahagathbandhan but a Gathbandhan, and that too arrived at the last minute in a somewhat improvised manner. Secondly, you quoted Mr. Veerappa Moily, who in the beginning of the program said that the Congress did not pay attention to social engineering. He is absolutely and 100% right. No non-BJP party focused on the non-Yadav EBCs which happened to be the largest segment of the electorate. Thirdly, I believe the opposition greatly was misguided on the issue of demonetization. The reflex and total opposition to it ab initio did not take into account the factor that for the poor at least, the perception remained that demonetization was a step taken to help the poor by taking from the rich to give to the poor. Now these are objective lessons to be learned from this election.
Yeah.
The opposition must learn now. Smell the coffee, wake up. It's not only about
Mr.
the
Pawan
Congress.
Verma.
They must wake up
Mr.
to
Pawan Verma,
understand
exactly.
the fact that they need to present a credible narrative which is planned, which is anticipated, which has application of mind. You cannot fight elections and be in the democratic arena in this manner.
Yeah.
And as
Mr.
about
Pawan
Goa,
Verma, which is
as
why we
about
asked
Goa,
the question
since you
about the
asked
leadership.
that,
Yeah, I
and
just want
about
to come to you
Manipur.
on that point. Yeah, I want to come to you on exactly that point, and that is the
since you
reason
asked
we are
us
also talking about Goa and Manipur, is because again, isn't that a reflection
let
of the
me answer
leadership's
that.
inability to, capitalize on the opportunity,
in fact,
having become the single largest party?
Yeah, I agree with you, and let me say what I believe, and I say this with complete courage of conviction. You may disagree with me as your wont is. I believe that it was the ethical duty of the governor, whatever the precedents in the past may have been to the contrary, in accordance with correct constitutional practice, to call the party with the largest number of MLAs and to give it the first opportunity to form the government. If the Congress party, and I cannot claim to speak for it, was not proactive enough to make that claim, which it deserved, that's another matter, and it's for the Congress to answer. My good friend
So you
RPN
disagree
Singh
with
is
the
there to do
Supreme
it.
Court's
But
observations
ethically,
today, Mr. Pawan Verma? You disagree with the Supreme Court's observation,
Supreme
which
Court-
said that the letters of support have not been demonstrated neither to the Supreme Court nor to the governor. In which
Navika,
case,
the
why are you putting us in the
problem is,
same
Navika,
position as the governor, the Supreme Court said?
Navika, the problem is that you never listen to the answer because you have a preconceived question before I can even explain to you. I said to you that the onus of responsibility in such matters rests with the governor, which should have called, in accordance with best constitutional practice, the party with the largest number of MLAs to be given the first opportunity to prove its majority on the floor of the House. Now, if the Congress did not make that claim, it's for the Congress to answer. But that should have been the right practice, in my view.
No, but like you said, sir, the point is that the Congress did not, in fact, capitalize on that opportunity. The Congress should have and immediately tried to put together the numbers.
Mr. RPN Singh is there to answer.
But the Congress didn't do that. And yes, we will go to RPN Singh on that. But I also want to bring in Yogendra Yadav on the larger point that we are making here tonight. Yogendra Yadav, this love for the family, this love for keeping the top leadership completely off the hook in the Congress, would you not agree that this demoralizes, the cadre on the ground? How is the cadre on the ground in states like Uttar Pradesh, for example, now expected to remain motivated when the top leadership is let off the hook every single time in the Congress party?
Thank you. Finally, I get a chance to say something because I thought this was a double-barrel debate. Wasn't sure what exactly was being discussed. Now that I have some idea of the two questions, let me answer that straight away. Number one, the easiest thing in the world is to kick a loser. So let's not do that. I heard the statements about Rahul Gandhi that you played out. I thought a little down in UP must have been the understatement of the year. Of course, this is a terrible situation, and that, of course, seems to suggest some kind of a denial mode. The rest of what he said was the standard stuff that most political parties say. Congress has been saying it for the last 2-3 years. The trouble is that they have done nothing about it. The point is not only the leadership. Somehow in these television debates, we get quite attracted about the leaders. They have a face, there is a telegenic appeal and things of that kind. I think Congress faces a triple crisis. There is a crisis of the leadership, which is absolutely evident. There is the crisis of the organization, and the crisis of the organization is that heavyweights sink and lightweights float. That is Congress's problem. But underlying all this is a much deeper crisis of vision, crisis of not having a script, They don't have a narrative. And that's a much deeper crisis that Congress needs to ponder about. Fortunately, it's not my responsibility to give them advice, but when I heard Mr. Kamal Nath's comments, I thought he was probably advising the Congress to learn a bit from Mr. Amit Shah. If that happened, that of course would be tragic, because I think both the parties are becoming more like each other. On the Goa-Manipur situation, let's distinguish between political smartness, constitutional correctness, and political ethics. On political smartness, no doubt, BJP has scored a point over the Congress. Congress is slow, lazy, BJP was smart, quick, agile, no doubt. Constitutionally, is it correct? As long as the Supreme Court says it's correct, it's by and large correct. And as long as finally on the floor of the House, it is decided, technically, legally, constitutionally, it would pass the test. But there is a higher question of political ethics. How does a ruling party behave when they have just had such a huge majority in the country? You expect a certain liberality, a certain grace, a certain willingness to
How do you expect them to behave? Yogendra Yadav, you expect them to sit around and wait until the other party decides to wake up and take some action. You would expect the BJP to just sit around and wait and let the Congress take its time, decide when they want to get their act together, decide when they want to try and get the numbers together. Nirmala Sitharaman, would you like to respond to that, and then we bring RPN Singh in?
I think we have probably changed the nature of our clock altogether. We have changed the nature of our clock because these decisions earlier, from what I remember, and I've been watching politics for 30-40 years, it used to take about 1 week, it used to take even 10 days, and 24-hour clock is a new thing, so you get used to from test cricket.
Okay, Ms. Sitharaman, would you like to respond to that?
So probably we'll get used to all those games. But I do want to remind you that the instance of 2013 that you are citing is actually incorrect. The simple fact is, and since I was involved at that time, I know all the facts. The simple fact is that BJP had made a public declaration that it does not want to form a government, although it was the largest single party. It is only after that, and after Governor had had consultation with BJP, where it officially said that in press statement that BJP was not interested. Only after that Aam Aadmi Party was invited. These are the facts, so you should correct it.
Nirmala Sitharaman, once again the question is back to the morality. The opposition will look at not the Rahul Gandhi and the taking of onus of himself for accountability, but they will find fault with the BJP. Would you like to respond to all the points that have been raised so far on why the BJP is responsible in spoiling the political ethics while all other political parties are holding the torch of political ethics extremely high?
Well, I find it absolutely
that's a very unfair way of putting and summarizing. I don't know who you are fighting for right now. That's a completely unfair way of summarizing what we said. At least I had very clearly said Congress has been much worse than the BJP. So BJP is learning from the Congress. Congress is hoping to learn from the BJP. And the country suffers. That's the big question. So please don't unfairly summarize what we've said.
Okay. Nirmala Sitharaman, respond.
Well, I'll first of all want to say, we have only assembled the names of the people and gone to the governor to say we can form. What is politically immoral about it? We have only gone there. We have not sat in the assembly and said, sorry, we are not giving any resignation letter. Although the election is completed, results have been announced, the new house has to take for shape. We have not done any of that. What is politically immoral about it? Very quick to judge. I'm sorry. The mandate has come out. There are independents and other parties which are saying we are quite okay to go ahead along with BJP, who has now announced even who they would have as the leader. We've only done that far. So what is immoral about it? And for all those who are talking about ethics, I want to ask them, if you really knew that you had the numbers, what stopped you from going to the governor? You didn't. You make the people wonder what is going on and then give all the time. And we've not said tomorrow we want to go on the floor of the House. It is Supreme Court which said, instead of spending a lot of time in whatever way, I'm paraphrasing the Supreme Court, do it within 48 hours. And therefore, we've submitted to the verdict of the Supreme Court, we will do it. What is immoral about it? Very quickly, being politically smart is suddenly unacceptable, and therefore you want to tell us, oh, morally you're... I'm sorry, this is not the way to handle. You are in the game. You could have yourself done this. You had, after
That's
all,
right,
the number
RPN
of
Singh.
MLAs that were
That's
more
right,
than
RPN
ours.
Singh. You're in the game of forming governments. That's why elections are fought, and which is why the Congress party as the BJP are both in the race to try and form the government. The question is, your own MLAs were fighting in Goa, number one. Number two, let me come back to the main debate. As Pawan Verma has reminded us, this is about Rahul Gandhi and what his future for his party is. What did Rahul Gandhi say in 2013? He said, we have seen too much over-centralization of power. We need to transform things. In 5 years from now, we need to create 40 to 50 leaders who can run the country, not just the states. These are Rahul Gandhi's statements, not mine. Today he says UP is just a little down. Is he in complete denial of the fact that the party has been routed?
Navika, I understand what you're saying. I can't understand. You can base the whole 1 hour debate on just the word, that one word that he used. He has congratulated the Prime Minister. Everybody knows that it's been a remarkable win, and we know we need to work much harder in Uttar Pradesh. And I think to just say that Rahul Gandhi's leadership is not
okay, then let me ask you a very direct question. Let me ask you a very direct question, RPN Singh. BK Hari Prasad has resigned as General Secretary, taking responsibility for Odisha debacle of the Congress party. Will we see any such accountability being taken by other leaders who were in charge of the other 3 states which have been routed? And will such accountability be taken by Rahul Gandhi? Only then he can begin to see what the future has to be looking like.
If he loses Uttar Pradesh, do you think he should resign? Well, the Prime Minister should have resigned if he lost Bihar. Meaning you make politics so
okay, RPN Singh.
Navika, I find that really funny.
RPN Singh, what about those who were in charge of the states?
I ask you very simple. If we sweep Punjab, it is not Rahul Gandhi's leadership. There's no credibility given to Rahul Gandhi. But if we lose Uttar Pradesh, Rahul Gandhi should resign. If we win Punjab, it's Captain Amrinder Singh. Meaning, it's a responsibility, it's collective responsibility.
Okay, what about those responsible for the states, RPN Singh, other senior leaders like Ambika Soni and Ghulam Nabi Azad?
He has taken responsibility.
What is their moral responsibility for what happened in Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh?
Beg your pardon?
I'm saying, just adding to the question that Navika asked you about senior leaders like Ambika Soni or Ghulam Nabi Azad taking moral responsibility for the debacle in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand.
But Rahul Gandhi has taken responsibility for every debacle. If you remember the last UP assembly election, he was the first person out who accepted defeat and owned the responsibility. He has owned responsibility for every defeat, and that is what a leader does. But it is not single-handedly his defeat. It is a defeat of the leadership as well as every worker in Uttar Pradesh, be it me or the workers who worked very hard in Padrona or Kushinagar. But I can understand. But he wins Punjab, what happens? His leadership is still tainted because he won Punjab. Are you trying to say that, Tina? If he wins Punjab, what happens there? Then his leadership must be doing something good.
Pawan Verma, the statistics. I want to bring to your notice the statistics. The statistics go as follows. In 2013 was when Rahul Gandhi was made the vice president of the party. Since 2013, they've lost 17 elections in assemblies, and they've lost a Lok Sabha election. The question is, if there was a requirement of a course correction, is 4 years a long enough period for some sort of course correction, to have some sort of a plan of action, to have some sort of a strategy to counter what you are up against? Because in politics, it's always the counter opposition that you have to look at. If you're up against the BJP, then is your strategy worth anything that the BJP is strategizing? That's how you have to compete in that world.
No, I'll be clear. I've said it before. In the BJP, we have a formidable force. The party has a dynamic leader who invests a great deal of energy in elections. Then you have a great deal of preparatory planning under Amit Shah, which if it was missing in Bihar, they made up for it in big state like UP. Then they have an organized and committed cadre, including an ideologically committed cadre. And fourthly, whenever necessary and very often, they use the Brahm Shastra of religious division to polarize voters in order for short-term electoral gain. Cumulatively, it's a very, very strong adversary. Now, if you have to face up to it, either you do something like happened in Bihar, where for 6 months, meticulously, there was application of mind and planning in order to face this opposition. If you don't do it, please do not expect that merely on the basis of euphoria or hope, you can afford to win. That's why I'm making the point repeatedly. It's time for the opposition to wake up if they believe in the efficacy and the need and the relevance of a counter narrative for India. If they do, it's time to eschew egos, to come together, to prepare a common program, an agenda for governance, and prepare and plan for it in a meticulously organized way. Otherwise, it's not going to function. That's the lesson.
Or you can do the next best thing, Yogendra Yadav.
Elections.
Or Yogendra Yadav, you can do the next best thing, which is question the EVMs and say that it is the EVMs that are leading to these problems. So let's go to paper ballots. Now, you know, that is the kind of logic that the opposition is now coming out with. Has this entire fight between the BJP and the opposition ranks really come down? Really come down to now questioning the EVMs? Or is there a plan of action? Is there a strategy that the opposition, as Pawan Verma is suggesting, needs to stitch together to take on the might of the BJP? Because a country, a democracy without a relevant opposition is also not a democracy which is strong.
Pawan Verma has made a very big and very relevant point, and that's the kind of things we should be discussing here. The whole point about EVM is rather ridiculous. When Mayawati ji said it, I felt very sad that she had to resort to this, and now we have more and more leaders joining the gang and blaming EVMs, etc., while there is a scope for improvement. But to say that this entire thing happened because of EVM, at least I do not find it credible unless there is some solid evidence. I should just remind you that Mayawati and others are not the first to do so. If you remember, and just in case you wanted to know, GVL Narasimha Rao wrote a book saying EVMs are responsible for all this. The preface to that was written by Mr. Advani. Mr. Subramaniam Swamy also supported that. So when BJP lost, they have also done all these standard things. Unfortunately, all this is ridiculous. Pawan Verma makes a bigger point, which is that it's not merely Rahul Gandhi. It's not merely Congress. It is opposition as a whole. And allow me the liberty of including Pawan Verma's party also into it. I think the entire non-BJP spectrum has lost the plot. The kind of politics that they have practiced has reached a dead end. And when politics reaches a dead end, the best thing is to go back to drawing board to say, okay, how do we reinvent it? And the 3 or 4 questions that need to be asked by the entire non-BJP politics are the following. Number 1, how come we have lost the narrative of nationalism to a party which has zero investment in this country's freedom struggle? The second question is, how come secularism has become so discredited in the eyes of ordinary people of India, and it looks like pandering to minorities? And of course, in minorities' eyes, it looks like holding them hostage. Number 3, how come the entire discourse of social justice has come to justify casteism of the lower order? Why does it not sound like justice to ordinary people? And 4th, how come socialism appears something which both the rich and the poor tend to resent? These are the big questions they need to think about.
Okay, so let me put those questions to RPN Singh. RPN Singh, as Yogendra Yadav says, why has the opposition, the larger sort of opposition bloc, lost the plot? Now, I want to add to that and, talk about what Omar Abdullah tweeted, for example, once the UP results were apparent, saying that at this rate, we should be preparing for 2024 and not 2019. Now, isn't that really a wake-up call? And you say that Rahul Gandhi accepts responsibility after every electoral loss. But I'm asking you, what is the course correction that is done? What happened, for example, after the Anthony Committee report? What actual action on the ground has been done? What structural changes have been put? When are the senior leaders of the party going to start taking responsibility, not just by lip service, but actual action on the ground that can be seen to every lay person who's watching?
Well, I agree with you completely. There needs to be a transformation, and I think a lot of leaders of the Congress party have spoken about it, including Mr. Rahul Gandhi. And I think we need to go back to the drawing board as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned. We need to look at where our strategy is not picking up with the people of Uttar Pradesh. We have done well in some states. We have stitched up alliances in some states which have come good, including the one in Bihar. Uttar Pradesh continues to not pick up for the Congress party. Election after election, we have been doing badly. And I think we tried our best somehow to stitch up alliance with Samajwadi Party, with Akhilesh, which hasn't worked on the ground. We really need to go back to the drawing board and work on that. But the Congress has always, we have always reinvented and connected with the people. It is not the first time that we are losing election after election. There have been times when we have lost national elections, state elections, year after year, but we have reinvented and gone back to the people because our connection with the people of this country has been immense. Our contribution to the development of this country has been immense. Our connectivity with the people of this country has been immense. And I think these are things that have steadied the Congress party so well in the last 60 years. And we shall continue, and definitely I agree with what Mr. Yogendra Yadav has said, that we need to go back to the drawing board and see how is it that we're losing the space that belongs to the Congress party as far as this nation is concerned, which we are letting the BJP squeeze us out of. And that is something we really need to introspect on, work on, and definitely we will work on it.
Nirmala Sitharaman, do you think when the Congress party says that Rahul Gandhi should stay where he is, he said that it's a little down in Uttar Pradesh and that is enough for him to take accountability, and the fact that the entire Congress is now talking about the money power that the BJP is using, the charisma of Narendra Modi and the reach, the social engineering, everything else. They're not talking about the connect of the people with a political party, but talking about everything which is supposed to be scientific, which is supposed to be manipulated through a social engineering concept. All of that they are willing to give to the BJP, but there's one thing that they are not giving, which is just a wave for Narendra Modi. Do you think the elections in 2014 or 2017 in Uttar Pradesh were just won on the basis of this social engineering, or is there a larger persona of Narendra Modi which somehow just doesn't match up with Rahul Gandhi? The brand Namo and brand Raga has a huge, vast difference between them.
There is no doubt that the people are seeing in the Prime Minister a person who speaks as much as he delivers. Every promise has been very clearly explained to people, works in the pipeline have been explained, so he stands out as a leader who delivers on promises. And therefore, if you want to compare that with somebody else, there will be shortcomings. But clearly, the disconnect that the Congress is suffering has been repeatedly highlighted, whether in Odisha's local body election, or in Maharashtra's local body election, or in a cosmopolitan and urban Chandigarh, or now in Uttar Pradesh, or now in Uttarakhand. The point is, you people are watching all of us. You give promises, you show that your intent is clear, and you deliver. And that's what they see in the Prime Minister. Whereas what is being seen of the Congress party being led by the Vice President is obstructionism in the House, a complete wrong reading of what the demonetization is doing to the people in the ground. Come and talk about a manufactured akrosh where there wasn't one. People were conceding that it was putting them to difficulty, but they understood the larger intent of the Prime Minister. And that's where I think the introspection in the Congress is not just about the leadership or dynasty or, even the point that Yogendra Yadav says on nationalism, they have contributed. I don't think today people are looking at it from who contributed for the independence movement, because several others contributed for the independence movement who the Congress doesn't even bother to remember or to recognize. Even that the BJP is doing. Great heroes of the freedom movement. So I think what the Congress is, when you're talking of raga, of denial, it is Congress which is not just in denial, but is in disconnect, completely misreading the popular view of the public on critical things like demonetization, on critical things like
which is why RPN Singh, I take this question back to you, because in the Congress you represent the young face of hope within the Congress. People look up to leaders like you, that you will at least look at the facts squarely in the eye and talk about it plainly. Do you have that kind of a connect with your leadership where your advice will be taken, number one? And number two, after every election, is this routine that we need to go back to the drawing board and we will need to improve things? It's been said election after election, 17 elections that you've lost since 2013, this statement has been made, but there has been no course correction on the ground. So RPN Singh, the question I ask you is very simple tonight. The question is there going to be some sort of a tough accountability mechanism that will come in, that will bring about that accountability on the ground? Or are you going to be happy with staying in just 4 states, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Karnataka, which is due for elections next year, and Meghalaya and Mizoram? Is that the footprint that you're happy with?
No, we have made changes, and that's why we won Bihar. We made changes, that's why we won Punjab.
As partner number 4.
We made changes in... Yes, can I finish my question? We did well. We made some changes on ground in Bihar. We were not good. We stitched up a Mahagandbandhan and we wiped out the BJP. We projected Captain Amrinder Singh as the Chief Minister of Punjab and we wiped out the Akali and the BJP. We made some changes in Goa and we were successful in reducing the numbers of the BJP and coming close to a full majority. We were in power for 3 terms in Manipur. We were close to majority. We need to improve there. Same way in Uttar Pradesh, we obviously did not do enough so that the people of Uttar Pradesh could vote for us. Definitely we need to change and we shall continue to evolve. That is something that continues in politics. But election after election, why is it that we only talking about the Congress is not doing anything? I can understand that the BJP is euphoric about the victory in Uttar Pradesh. The whole country has congratulated them, but the whole country is not only Uttar Pradesh, and the whole country is not only.
So let's get closing comments from both Pawan Verma and Yogendra Yadav. Just 1 second. Is raga of denial a correct perception of the Congress party, Pawan Verma? Yes or no?
No, I have said that the Congress party needs to introspect and go back to the drawing board. How it does it is for the Congress party to do. And let me add in answering this. Navika, you keep talking of accountability. I'll take just 30 seconds. Please allow me. Let me tell you, the BJP today, and perhaps rightly, has built a high command which is unchallenged. Nobody in the BJP can challenge the duo of Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. Every party. After Bihar, nobody questioned Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. After Delhi, nobody questioned Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. So don't think it's only a matter of one party or the other. Let's be honest about it. But about the opposition, I want to be clear. Either we smell the coffee and come together with a credible counter narrative that sets the agenda.
Okay,
or I think it's getting very late.
Is this the beginning of another opposition unity bid as suggested by Pawan Verma and Nitish Kumar, or are we going to see still the Congress party living in denial? I thank all my esteemed guests joining us on the panel here, Tina and me. Thank all our panelists tonight. We'll take a short break, but Tina?
Yes, coming up next, very closely related topic, the EVM ka bahana. Is that what the opposition is going to resort to? That's debate number 2 coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you.